Hi, I'm Lindsay Sellers, and I'm doing the introduction presentation for EDL 853 Special Education for School Leaders. This is the Fall 2018 course. So my introduction of myself is that I am currently a school counselor at Salina South High School. We have approximately 1,050 students here. We're a 5A high school in Salina, Kansas. But before I was here at South High School, I taught for 1 year at the neighboring middle school. I taught science. This is my 14th year in the district and my 13th year as a counselor. And I'm currently in charge of an at-risk program that we call PBD, which stands for Performance-Based Diploma. And this program is for at-risk students who are possibly behind on credits to graduate on time or have a unique circumstance and need to get caught up in order to still graduate with their class. So I hold a caseload of about, usually it's between 70 and 80 at-risk students, and we work using an online program to get them caught up for graduation with their class. I do have 3 children. My oldest daughter is a 19-year-old WSU student at Wichita State. And so she's enjoying her sophomore year and getting going on that. And I have 3-year-old twin boys at home. So they keep me busy themselves. Between a teenager and toddlers, we're pretty busy people. My husband is the head football coach and also coaches track here at South High. So it's a busy time of year for our family. What I enjoy in my free time is obviously family time, and we enjoy doing things here with the school as far as sporting events and things like that, so we can interact with the kids, and then being involved in our church and community as well. So in regards to our current school facilities here at South High School, South High School was actually just rebuilt. We have our ribbon cutting and grand opening next week, so we're really excited for that. We've been in construction for about 3.5 years. The only old parts of our building that exist right now are 2 gymnasiums and a nice auditorium. So we built a new school onto those. So we had about a $45 million piece of the district bond issue that was done here. And so we are in brand new facilities and out of construction almost, except for our front parking lot. And we are super excited about that. So with that being said, our special education services in regards to our facilities just being built are actually kind of what we wanted. But this is, it was kind of fun for me to do this presentation because we really got to kind of do some designing of what we wanted our services and programs here at South High to look like. So in regards to special education, we have kind of different tiers of services here within our building. So we obviously serve LD students or learning disabled students through a class within a class and some modified classes type model. And so we have, those students go to regular classrooms with regular teachers, and then they're normally co-taught with either a para or mainly special education teachers. So with the new facilities, we have each of our special education case managers has their own private office for doing IEPs or paperwork that might be different from what a normal teacher would do. So that has been an accommodating factor that the new facilities provide for them. And then we also house in our school the Functional Learning Center and Academic Learning Center, which we call the FLC and the ALC. And within all of that, those students also funnel into a 18 to 21-year-old program. So we house those services for all students within the CKCIE co-op. Which covers several counties here in the middle of Kansas. So we have students that are bused in anywhere from a 15-minute bus ride in the morning to a little bit over an hour. So those students are working on functional skills or are lower academic skills than can be provided in the regular classroom. So the functional learning students are working on very functional skills that may mean writing their name, learning their address, and then functional skills that could maybe someday get them employed or just to help them function and have some independence once they leave us. The ALC students are students that are probably functioning a little bit more between like the first grade and maybe fourth grade, and you know it's very individualized, but that's kind of the range of those students. So they can't quite handle the high school academic, but they're higher functioning and have a little bit more academic skills. So they still have a focus of learning some of those independent skills, some work skills, things like that, but they are kind of in their own program. Students in both of those programs then do funnel to the 18 to 21-year-old program. So I know that was kind of a lot. We'll probably talk more about that as class gets going, but because of the new facilities, the FLC and ALC students have what we kind of consider their own wing. It's off of our main hallway, so it's not super secluded. Those students are with our normal population students a lot. And so, but they do have kind of, maybe it would be better to say, their own suite. So within that, there are 5 classrooms. There is a safe room, a sensory room, and an apartment. And then also across from that, in the main hallway, we have a PT and OT room, and speech is also housed in there. And so those services have places to store and use some of the bigger equipment that some of our students here at South High require. So we're pretty blessed that we're in a brand new building and do have some of these facility needs that we were able to really I guess, design and put into place ourselves. So a personal reflection on content-based learning. This is a little bit different for me in the position that I've been in the majority of my career as a school counselor, because I'm not, in charge of a lot of the content learning for students. I'm more in the role of a support person. So I attend IEP meetings. I do support teachers, family, and students, as I do have some of those students on my caseload. And then, I think one of the main things that we work to try to do is try to find creative ways for students to be successful within their classes, and how their curricular needs might be a little bit different than their peers. And so I'm really a support in some of the learning needs of those students, and really try to work with all the parties involved to make sure those students' needs are being met. Improvement. This was another interesting one for me. Obviously, there's always ways that we can improve and enhance our services, and I think at South High School we do a pretty good job with the new facilities. I think some of that helps some of our programs run more smoothly. So kind of some of the pieces that I'm involved with that I think could be enhanced is the scheduling of special education classes is always very difficult when you have certain classes that students need to be in to receive certain credits or certain content. So some of the class within a class and modified classes we have are difficult to provide, and then it's coming up with the flexibility on how we're going to meet each student's needs. I think another thing in our FLC and ALC is we're working hard to put some structured learning into place to really find some ways to individualize for some of those students as well. So definitely some improvements can be happening with some of our programming, and I think we're working on it. Like I said, we can always find ways to improve, so working on that is one of the big things. Obviously, staffing for students, we've lost some special ed teachers, I would say probably in the last 4 to 7 years. We've lost several positions, and I think that takes a toll sometimes on case managers. And so that would always be something that I would advocate for those students to have the staff that they need to find success. And I think another big one for us here is finding community partnerships. We're a community of about 50,000, and we have 2 5A high schools. And I think sometimes, our community, just because we have more kids that need to go out and maybe learn life skills or learn working skills, there are still limits to what our community can handle. And so finding new partnerships, finding ways for students to have real world experiences within our community, within our school, I think that's it's hard. And so we do the best we can. We're always excited when we can find a new business to partner with us for something for students. And so something that we're always continually working to try to improve. And of course, the impact of funding. So, like I had mentioned previously, staffing is one of the big pieces of funding and meeting student needs, and that is tied directly to funding. Funding equals staff, staff equals funding. And so, um, finding ways to be creative and meet student needs that way. Like I have mentioned a couple times with the new building, we did get to meet it to fit our current programs, but I think looking ahead to 10 or 20 years, what will possibly need to change? What kind of funding would that require? All of those things are clearly going to be tied to funding. And so I think funding is always one of those tricky things. It's great for now, but it's never something that we can stop thinking about, because we know the next time we turn around, the next year we start, it's going to be the topic of conversation again. So I appreciate everyone listening. I look forward to working with everyone and learning new ideas this semester.